Welcome back, folks. It's still under quite a bit of pressure, and the bad part for the bulls is that there's no recovery at all. The Nifty is still down about 85 odd points. But the theme of the Auto Expo this year is sustainable mobility. Tata Motors showcased 12 cars, including 5 electric models, 14 trucks, including hydrogen fuel cell powered carriers. My colleague Parikshit Luthra caught up with Girish Wagh, the executive director of Tata Motors, on the sidelines of the expo. Listen in to what he had to say.
I think to address the challenge of climate change, the whole world is moving towards net zero greenhouse gas emissions, right? As a country, India has decided to be net zero by 2070. Logistics as a sector has a contribution of almost 18% globally in greenhouse gas emissions. Being in that sector and being leading OEM, we have decided to start this journey and in fact lead this journey. We have taken a target to be net zero greenhouse gas emissions by 2045 as Tata Motors commercial vehicles. Now, to progress this journey, it is going to be from the conventional fuels which we use today to natural gas to blended fuels, which is like flex fuel or biofuel, to battery electric and also hydrogen. And within hydrogen, I think there are two possibilities. One is fuel cell electric and second is hydrogen internal combustion engine. Now it appears that as a country, we are going to balance our energy basket very judiciously as we move from conventional fuels to say hydrogen. So this necessitates therefore for us to have all these powertrain options in our portfolio for some time. And therefore we have initiated development on all these technologies. We have showcased 14 concepts and products in this Auto Expo.
So let's start, sir, from here. These are 5 or 6 trucks that are parked here. Give us a sense of each of them and what they offer.
So what we have here is the Prima 55-ton tractor with hydrogen fueled internal combustion engine. So as I said, hydrogen is a good possibility, a very exciting possibility in commercial vehicles. And for long haul, heavy duty, where battery electric may not do the work, I think hydrogen is an option. Within that, I think, so we have developed this concept wherein you can also use the current intellectual property and infrastructure of internal combustion engines to a great extent.
So hydrogen on ice.
Hydrogen on ice. So, I think globally there is also talk of just transition. So hydrogen ice, in a manner of speaking, actually helps towards that.
Right, and this is the Prima E55S.
So this is the Prima with fuel cell. So we have both the options, the fuel cell as well as the hydrogen internal combustion engine here. And then on this side we have the battery electric.
Okay.
So even
this is pure EV.
This is pure battery electric. So even in heavy duty vehicles, for closed loop applications, say like tipping or construction, for mining and construction, this will be a battery electric tipper, right? And on the other hand, on the other side, what you see are our 2 new generation architectures. And the interesting part is that both these architectures are, that is Signa and Azura, are fuel agnostic. That means both these architectures can take in their lifetime all the powertrain technologies that I spoke about. Because it's a necessity that we do have this kind of a flexibility with us.
Right.
So that's the range that we see here. Of course, at the rear, we have the buses. Even in buses, we have 2 buses. One is a battery electric bus on the left-hand side, and on the right-hand side is a fuel cell electric bus.
Right.
Now, the one on the left-hand side is meant for the CSL Phase 1 tender that we had won, right? And this is the bus which will be delivered in Delhi and Bangalore, where we already have the order from the transport corporations. On the right-hand side, what you see is the fuel cell bus, wherein we won the first tender around 18 months back from Indian Oil, and we are going to supply 15 buses of fuel cell electric to them. So I think with this, even in buses, our portfolio will be having both battery electric as well as fuel cell electric.
Okay. And any of the battery electric trucks or the hydrogen ICE or hydrogen fuel vehicles, that you plan to launch in the next 2 to 3 years? A lot of that depends on fuel availability.
So,
And how encouraged are you by the green hydrogen mission which has now been announced?
right. So I think we will see good part of these vehicles getting introduced in next few years, right? So for example, the ones which will find it easier are of course battery electric, because the technology is developed there.
Charging
And-
infrastructure is there.
Exactly, charging infrastructure. I think the financials are becoming comfortable for financing these vehicles. So we'll see the battery electric ones coming first. In hydrogen, as I said, the fuel cell electric bus is actually going to be delivered and run commercially from the next financial year.
As a pilot.
Yeah. But it will be running commercially in the next financial year. So that's about fuel cell electric. But if you see in terms of horizon, as we stand here today, I think battery electric will come first, followed by, it appears that hydrogen ICE may come faster than the fuel cell electric. The reason is, hydrogen ICE is actually amenable for low purity hydrogen. Now, as you rightly said, the hydrogen mission which has been announced by government, we are very optimistic with that, because while we are making the vehicles and the technology ready, it is important that green hydrogen generation, transmission, distribution and retail infrastructure is also put up, right? So with the green hydrogen mission, we're quite optimistic that even that will come in place, which will ensure that, even hydrogen ICE will be a reality.
Okay. I would like to ask you, how much are you now going to be investing in the next fiscal on new technologies?
So, see, we have been investing around 1,500 to 2,000 crores per year in our commercial vehicle business. And I can tell you that every year, the percentage of spend which has been happening on new generation technologies or zero emission vehicles is actually increasing.
Right.
And here, the percentage that I'm calculating is only for the powertrain technologies. If you look at the vehicle, the architectures that I spoke about, they are anyway fuel agnostic. So leaving that aside, I think our percentage is consistently increasing and will continue to increase.
Right. My final question, sir, how do you see the growth in this fiscal so far? How do you expect to complete FY23, and how does the outlook for FY24 look?
So I think FY23 has been a good year for commercial vehicle industry after almost 2.5 years of slowdown, right? I think the industry started picking up from October of 21. This entire year till now, the 3 quarters have been good. We've seen almost 45% industry growth in terms of volumes. But within that, I think the buses which had declined the most during COVID period have come back strongly. Then medium and heavy commercial vehicles which declined the second max have also come back pretty well. Now looking ahead, therefore, we are quite optimistic that next year also this growth journey will continue. But of course, the percentage growth will go down a bit. Reason is due to the higher base. But we do look at next year also in an optimistic manner.
All right, that is the management of Tata Motors. They're sounding extremely optimistic on the EV push, talking about, the 4 new concepts that they've unveiled, saying that they're going to lead the EV journey, and also very, very positive on growth in the coming year. So that is an interesting chat. But with that, we're going to get into a short break now. When we come back, the IT sector is in focus. We'll bring you all of the expectations from Infosys and HCL Tech.